Okay, so with the recent patch coming out to PC soonish, probably, maybe, hopefully, I thought I'd do a little review telling you if you should get Arkham Knight or not. Also, I'd like to mention that this review is going to be spoiler free, but I don't know what you may count as a spoiler, so you've been warned. So Arkham Knight is the third in the series, not including Origins, because that wasn't even made by Rocksteady. So they've basically had 3 games to improve on the mechanics. Like if you've played Arkham City, Origins, Asylum, you'll notice right away everything is more fluid. The game world is bigger. Combat's faster. There's a lot more shit to interact with. Varied enemy types, that stuff. I think the most noticeable thing is how fucking pretty the game is. Holy shit. This is the best looking open world game I have ever fucking seen. Characters are fucking high res. There's so much detail on them. There's like water dripping down them because it's always raining, but it doesn't matter because it looks amazing. And let's talk about the city for a sec. So this game takes place in Gotham City. That's right, like the whole city. It's split up into 3 islands, and there's no loading screens in between the 3 islands. So when you're flying around, you won't be interrupted by abrupt loading screens. That being said, though, the game's not completely absent of loading screens. Going into interiors, a lot of them. So like underground bases or tunnels or there's a lot of different buildings that you can go into. Those have loading screens, but those are usually more plot focused, like you have to for the story and stuff. So it's understandable. It's not a bother. Like they load super fast, but the game isn't completely free of loading screens. The story of Arkham City, without giving anything away, is that Scarecrow basically made a threat against the entire city with his chemical fear gas, and so they evacuated a whole bunch of people so that all that's left on the streets really, the police and a bunch of thugs. Mainly the thugs. The thugs have taken over the city. So like Penguin, Two-Face, Riddler hasn't really taken over the city, but he's just made a bunch of fucking amazing riddles all over the place. The city's fucking huge. Like getting from one end to the other takes a long time, which is why they added the Batmobile. Now, there's a bit of mixed feelings on this because the Batmobile is fucking awesome. Driving around it is great. Sometimes you drive through things like light posts, fountains, fences, and the Batmobile kicks their ass. Like, it blows them up into tiny little pieces, running them over, shatters them. A lot of things you wouldn't expect to, like supports for various things. I don't even know what I was running over, but it looked fucking amazing. Yeah, you could do that. Um, Combat for it's pretty good too. It's a lot of strafing and shooting, and it's combo based, so you can rack up your combo and then shoot a bunch of missiles or EMP and stuff. Now, there is a downside to this though. The game is constantly overusing the Batmobile to the point where you kind of get sick of it. So, it's really fun to use the Batmobile, but not when it's making you do it every like 40 minutes for the entirety of the game. There's a lot of times where I just remember like sighing because it's like, oh, you need to take out 100 drones again. And I'm not exaggerating when I say I fucking mean like 100 drone tanks. Granted, they're all one-hit kills, but it's still fucking annoying. The Batmobile also helps you solve a majority of the puzzles. Like a lot of them, you need to use both Batman and the Batmobile with like a remote control type thing to solve puzzles. It was a little annoying sometimes where it's like you need to open the door by revving the bat engine to power the overload the end door thing. So that was a bit fucking annoying. But besides that, I think it was pretty good. Overused for sure. So after the Batmobile, I guess we should probably talk about fucking Batman because it's his game, not Batmobile's game. You might be surprised about that. But Batman's the best fucking thing about this game. And it's like the most important thing because you play as Batman, obviously. It's what makes the game fucking fun. Like, I have never felt more like Batman gliding through the streets whooping ass in this game. And I think that's the most important part, that it's like fun and it's Batman. It's not just some fucking, it's not just like Sam Fisher wearing a Batman costume. Um, so yeah, whether you're like gliding around the city, like beating up thugs, or like speeding around corners in the Batmobile, or I don't even know. Oh, there's a lot of stealth in the game too. I'll mention that. I'll show some video clips of it. So basically, when it comes to Batman, there's really 2 types of combat. There's stealth combat and like the more action fist fight, I'm gonna fight 50 people kind of combat. Both are fucking excellent. the game does not hesitate, just like the amount of drone tanks, to throw like a lot of enemies at you when you're fist fighting them, like easily 30, 40 enemies. And there's a whole bunch of new shit too. Like you can whip people into like power boxes. You can fucking cut a lamp off the ceiling and drop it on someone. You can pick up bats and beat the crap out of a bunch of people until the bat breaks or something. There's new enemy types like medics and ninjas that do kickflips off walls. The combat's actually so good. It gets to the point where you're so into it because you're fighting a lot of enemies that someone's gonna probably message you, like you're gonna get a text message or a Skype message, and you're gonna be fucking pissed off because they're taking away from you being the Dark Knight.
Look, I got enemies, got a lot of enemies, got a lot of people trying to drain me of this energy, trying to take away from a nigga, fucking with the kid and pray for your nigga. I got enemies.
So I'm not going to forget at all about the stealth combat. Let's talk about that right now. Stealth has always been a part of the Arkham series. It was all about balancing how Batman is fucking a master of martial arts. And also, he's vulnerable and not like Superman. He can't just bounce off bullets. So stealth is still back, and it's probably better than ever. Those enemy types that I said before, for example, the medic can now revive people or electrocute them. They have active camo now. They have stuff that like block your detective vision so you can't always see through walls. But they have new tricks too. They have a bunch of auto sensor turrets that like rotate around the place and shoot at anything. You need to sneak up behind them. They now have voice manipulators where you can use the voice of the person leading the faction. So, for example, like Harley Quinn, and it kind of like Microsoft Sam makes a Harley Quinn thing that tells them to do this, like go here, stand here, push this button, something like that. But the enemies also have like flying UAV drones that scout the area and shoot at you that you can use against them again. There's new heavy enemies that can only be taken out loudly, so they attract attention every single time. It's really good. Another thing to note is that traversal in these stealth missions is also significantly improved. So now when you grapple to a vent that's up above the ground, Batman immediately slides down the vent to below. So Batman has like an upgrade tree that you can go through. It's pretty interesting. It just kind of helps you with combat by like giving you more health. Your melee attacks do more health, do more damage. You can fear multi-takedown more enemies. Fear multi-takedown, this is important. So if you stealth take out enough guards or, whatever, you build up your fear meter. And when it's full, you can initiate it and take out 3 to 4. I think by the end it's like 5 enemies in the blink of an eye, as long as they're within close proximity of each other and you have like visual sight of them. So it is a little bit overpowered, but they have a lot more enemies now, and when like all of them have guns and they're in a close proximity, even the fear multi-takedown is like, it's not necessary, but it's for sure a welcome feature. I never felt like the fear multi-takedown made it too easy. I felt like it just enabled me to get through an area the way I wanted to, and sometimes to speed things up if there were a lot of enemies, so to say. So just about every side villain in the game has their own like kind of mini quest. Two-Face has his. Penguin's in there. There's a few other ones that I won't mention, just so, surprise and stuff. But they're all pretty great, and they go around the city. You can choose to do them in whatever order you want, so you don't have to do the main story first. You can choose to do all the side missions and then the main story. Whatever floats your boat. So yeah, there's a lot of shit to do in the city, and I didn't hesitate at all to like 100% the game. I fucking, as soon as I beat the game, I only had a few more side missions left, and I immediately went and did them, and then collected all the fucking riddles, because this game was so fucking good. I just couldn't stop playing it at all. That being said, another negative about the game is the boss battles. Holy shit, did they fuck up the boss battles. Not only are they uninteresting and like repetitive, but almost every boss battle in the game is a Batmobile boss battle where you just have to like sneak up behind a tank and shoot it in the ass like 3 times. And that was just kind of lazy, because when I think of like Arkham, even Arkham Asylum boss fights, I remember like fighting Bane and like the Fear Gas Scarecrow attack and shit. There's just so much, right? But this time it's all Batmobile boss fight. There's one boss fight that's like a stealth boss fight. Not even. It's just you just kind of grapple over to the guy and then he runs away. And Like that was a really cool villain. So I don't. They should probably like I don't know redo that. It'd be cool if they released a DLC that fixed all the boss fights. That'd make this fucking game perfect. That'd be fucking cool. I'm sure for some of you it'd be cool if they released a working copy of the game, but it worked for me, so you know, whatever. Okay, also I should probably mention there are a few playable characters. So you play as Batman for majority of the game, but sometimes you get into situations where you're Batman and one of his allies, so like Catwoman, Nightwing, uh people like that, other people that I won't mention. And you basically fight Batman. Fight Batman. You and that person fight a bunch of thugs or whatever at the same time. So there's even a stealth version of it where it's like you and this other person taking out guards at the same time, and you can like kind of like Assassin's Creed sync attacks. And mid combat, you can switch off where like Batman like whips a fucking enemy in the air and Catwoman catches them and throws them on the ground. It's really good. Actually, to the point where I wanted to see a lot more because that was like one of the most fun fighting sequences in the game. And okay, so this is where the game struggles a bit. If you recall the challenge maps in every other fucking Arkham game, this game they're called VR challenges, which virtual reality. It's fucking terrible. Not only are they super limited, half of them are fucking Batmobile challenge maps, which that's cool. Whatever. The Batmobile racing in the Riddler courses was really fun, but when there's only like 6 Batman challenges and you can't switch characters too, what the fuck is that, right? Ah, so fucking bad. It's like I pre-ordered the game, I got the Red Hood DLC and the Harley Quinn DLC, which we'll talk about in a second, and I can't even play as those characters. Who came up with that? Why would you do that? There's like three Silent Predator challenges, and they're completely straight out of the campaign. I don't even think they're any different. Uh, then there's like 3 Brawler variants that are all the fucking same basically. You can still only play as Batman, so one of them you get to play as Batman and Nightwing, but it's like I don't give a shit about Nightwing. I want to play as Catwoman or fucking someone else. So they super dropped the ball on that. They better fucking release more challenge maps because it's just like not acceptable when in the previous games you could switch characters and maps and there were just a whole bunch of them, and this time it's like nothing. Uh Again, back on the DLC. So I haven't played the Batgirl DLC even though my fucking game's working, has been working since day 1. They fucking refused to release the Batgirl DLC until we fix our fucking game. Well, that's cool. I bought the season pass and I can't play it, so minus points for that. But from what I have played, I played both the Harley Quinn and the fucking Red Hood pre-order DLC crap. The Harley Quinn one is really fucking good. The Red Hood one sucks dick. Basically, Red Hood when playing at him, he's Batman, but he exclusively punches with his guns, which is fucking stupid. And like he just shoots people from far away and that's it. It's not really interesting. He doesn't like have any cool takedowns with the Bowie knife. That I saw. He just always shoots them, which was I mean it was kind of cool, but it was just easy. Also, his story like hardly made any fucking sense. Harley Quinn's was kind of tied in as like the prequel to the game, whereas Red Hood's would just be we have Red Hood in the game. Yeah, it was just unnecessary. The Harley Quinn one also, for both of them at least, they're both really short. They're both like 10 to 12 minutes in length. Like as soon as you beat, and there's no replay value really. Like the areas aren't all that interesting. It's just kind of there's like 6 or 7 guards per area, and then there's like a boss fight, and there's like maybe 3 areas and then a boss fight. I felt like the Red Hood's one is even shorter. That one felt like it was 8 minutes long. The boss fight was completely terrible in that. Didn't make any sense. Harley Quinn's though, the gameplay was really fun, but it was really short. I really like how her detective vision is kind of just like psycho bitch vision, and how she can't be quiet. She has to be loud. She has like a baseball bat and like a little Jack in the Box. That was really cool. Yeah, I'd like to play more as her, especially in the fucking VR challenge map bullshits. But maybe one day. So yeah, a little disappointed with the the mini pre-ordered, and when I say mini, I mean mini pre-ordered bonus things, especially since Red Hood's one of my favorite characters. Hopefully they release a patch, or I guess they'll probably do it as a DLC for more challenge maps because they're super disappointing. But besides that, the gameplay and story's fine. Gameplay is really fun actually. Story is kind of it's predictable, to be honest. It's quite predictable. But you know, it's whatever. I had a really fun time playing it, and then I had a fun time 100%ing the game. So I think if you've played any of the previous Arkham games, or if you're a fan of Batman, or hell, just good games in general, I think you should probably pick up a copy of Batman Arkham Knight when it works on PC. That is, I don't know, because I know for a fact it works for me and another friend, but I know quite a few people that it doesn't work for like at all. So when it is fixed, I think you should buy it. Until then, maybe don't buy it. But yeah, so that's what I thought of Batman Arkham Knight. Also, I plan on doing more of these videos. Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain comes out next month. Um, Go ahead and leave me some feedback and tell me how shitty this video was, so I can go ahead and make that next video maybe even shittier. Thanks for watching. Thank you.